Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Real to Real. I am your co-host, Brother Fatah Muhammad. I go by the name of K Famous, also known as the Maya Frequency. And we have my other co-host, Brother Damon Muhammad. He will be here shortly. And here at Real to Real, sister, this is our opportunity. Real to Real started about a year and a half ago, where Brother Damon and me were just talking about where we went wrong in our past relationships. Um, Together, we have 5 marriages under our belt total together. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of things that we feel bad about, things that we judged ourselves about. But this gave us an opportunity to talk about where we went wrong, but also it gave us an opportunity to be authentic, to be honest, transparent about where we went wrong. But also it's an opportunity for us to talk about moving forward and having the faith that we are going to get it right the next time. So we definitely thank you, Sister Angelica, for being here. We were definitely looking forward to this. So what we want to do, Sister, is give you a little bit of space to talk about yourself and what you do.
Yes, sir. All praises due to Allah. I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to share space with you on your platform. It is an honor. So yes, my name is Angelica X. I've been a registered member of the Nation of Islam for a little bit over a year now. I have a beautiful 3-year-old son named Amir. That's my baby. Also, I am a healing coach. I am a podcast host of Healing with Angelica's podcast. Also, I have a online healing tribe merch site that I have going on that's also, of course, connected to Healing with Angelica. I dibble and dab in a lot of different things, but main thing that I do is I assist people on their healing journey, even with the prospects. I'm sorry, of just, I want to say, what even got me started to do Healing with Angelica was just the things that I had went through in life, and seeing how in those times I needed someone, when I was going through that healing process. So I have a saying with Healing with Angelica, which is healing is a journey, but you should not have to heal alone. Mm-hmm. So I definitely believe that we are all on this healing journey. We all should heal together. So I think that is it. I am a striving Muslim, soldier of Allah, in this battlefield with our messenger, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So praise be to Allah.
Well, sister, what you do, your life's work, your brand, I think is it's a beautiful brand because our people are in a state of pain. We're suffering a lot. And Real to Real, it's on one point we talk about real issues that really affect our people pertaining male-female relationships, but there's also another real part to it, the REEL, because there's just some things that we feel are like kind of taboo to talk about, and we like to address those topics that we wish that we would have been spoken about or had spoken to us about before we even came into the nation about relationships. Mm-hmm. For you, sister, before you came into the nation, was marriage something you wanted to do?
I thought about marriage, but not in the depth of how I think about it now. So it was definitely on my mind. However, it wasn't a priority.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. The experience I had personally, and Brother Damon also had a very similar experience. We really didn't have an idea about marriage until we got into the nation. Yeah. We pretty much lived a somewhat of a loose life. And then when we come into the nation, we hear about marriage is half your faith, and the way you pursue a woman is in marriage. For you, what was the message you learned or you heard or you saw exemplified as you came into the nation concerning marriage?
The message that stood out to me was family. with me being a single mom, and just seeing how much just not having the father around, and just how much it plays a role in just a woman's mental, my mental, and trying to raise a young man, and just seeing how much that really affects us. So when we hear the importance of family, so when I think about marriage now, I have a whole different perspective of it. I'm looking at it more so for the future, for our future generations, and more so putting, I want to say, my ego aside of the fantasy of marriage. Of course, everyone wants the, lovey-dovey big wedding and stuff like that. That's beautiful and you should have that. But when we really think about the real foundation of marriage is family. I can honestly say that a lot of us, most of us, have grown in families that didn't have marriage, in it, or I want to say dysfunctional family. Mom and dad is just in a situationship, so a lot of confusion and in and outs here and there. So just me growing up, seeing the instability of just family, and now knowing the importance of family makes me want to just, of course, aim for marriage, and aiming for marriage with a purpose, not just to have someone, as far as, because we all have these urges,
Yeah.
and it's natural for us to have these urges, but I'm really looking at marriage as like a business. Like, we're family, we have to really break the generational curses, and that is through us, through marriage. So it has definitely changed since I joined the Nations, definitely changed my mindset in regards to marriage. Like, I took out the me when it comes to marriage, and I'm looking at us. I'm looking at family. I'm looking at the children that will come after us, because they will see how important it is that man and woman should be together. We're used to the single moms and the single dad, and we made it normal. And that is the reason why we see dysfunctional children and how they're growing up, and they're continue to, hash on the same cycle. So it definitely changed my perspective of marriage. So I'm looking at it in a different light, and I'm grateful for it.
Man. When we started having these discussions, Brother Damon and myself, we spoke real heavy on types, the wife types, the type of women we were married to. We didn't focus all the way just 100% on what we did wrong. We also looked at our mate selection. Mm-hmm. And we looked at, what were we thinking? What was the expectation, or what are some things that we just got wrong? And in that we see, oh, okay, well, I made this error in judgment, and now I have to repair this damage moving forward so that we don't make the same mistake. Mm. For you personally, as you think about your life's work and in your own personal life in terms of the relationship that you've had in the past, what are some things that you have learned about yourself?
Wow. I've learned so much about myself. Me being young, engaging in so-called relationships, me thinking that I'm in love, not even understanding that the things that I were doing at that time was actually showing how much I didn't love myself, how much I really didn't even know my value, how much I didn't even know what I wanted, so, within that, it was just me learning that you are the most important asset when it comes to the relationship, because you have to know who you are, and you have to know what it is that you want, and also what it is that you can bring to the table, because you want to be equally yoked, right? You don't want to be too egotistic within yourself to where you forget the other person's needs and wants, right? So it just taught me how to love myself more, and also taught me how I could be of service to my future husband. And also want to say, just how this whole time I didn't have, again, the right perspective of relationships. I'm just going off what I was seeing. I thought it was normal, but honestly wasn't doing anything but continuously damaging my perspective of what it means to really be a Black woman and really be able to embrace the Black man, because we don't see that a lot. We see a lot of, side views of men and women relationship. They want us to be against each other when, we really need each other. So, but then now I just really learned just the value of myself and what I will and won't do, when it comes to my next relationship. But one thing's first is always keeping a lie in the forefront of anything. So keeping a lie first, making sure you're a priority, and then being able to also understand other people's needs as well.
Yeah. Now, your healing journey, as you reflect on your relationship with your son's father, and looking to the future, are there things that you saw in him that, because you obviously saw something good in him? And I really do think, there are times where Brother Damon and me, where we spoke about the positive things that we were attracted to. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind exactly the initial reason, what we saw in the person. For you, what was the attraction? What did you see of good in your son's father?
Wow. I mean, overall, he was, and he still is. I mean, he's still a very smart and intelligent man. When I met him, honestly, he is who drew me into the nation.
Yes.
So I can't be more than grateful and thankful that Allah used him to bring me closer to Allah. And what's funny is that I even told him, even after we were still dealing with each other. So I told him that before I met him, I just got out of a breakup and it broke my heart. And I was praying to God. And at this time, I wasn't in the nation. I was just praying and crying. I said, Allah, I said, God, can you please just bring me somebody to bring me closer to you?
Yes.
And in that moment, I don't even know why I was saying that. I don't even know why I said that. So, but months went by and Allah sent me someone to bring me closer to him. So I can definitely say that, with him, he had a lot of intelligence. I was able to learn a lot from him, things that I don't regret as far as learning, and also just helping me, be a part of the nation, bringing me into the nation. So, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I think those are good moments to reflect on the good things, because we are by nature, people are good. We're created to be good, and the difficulties of life, they seem to affect us in a certain way that draw us apart. I can recall on my own life going through my divorce, the difficulty it is in breaking up, and how trying it can be seeing that one move on. For you, was your breakup a real hard breakup, or was it somewhat, I can understand why we need to go our separate ways, or was it something difficult for you?
It was very difficult. It was difficult only because, for one, this is someone that Allah used to bring me into the light. So I gained much of a respect for him. And on top of us having a child, as me wanting to keep that relationship. So my son wouldn't have to deal with, us being separate, right? So it was very hard, to actually accept it.
Yes.
I think the thing is, especially, I mean, I won't speak for all women, but I believe mostly women, can find it hard to actually be able to just accept things for what it is, even though it may not be what it is that we want. You know, it doesn't look realistic, but my thing was that once you really be okay with accepting a person for who they are, because you cannot change no one unless they want to be changed. You know, it's just, no, it's like, don't stress yourself out trying to change someone who doesn't want to be changed. So when I came to that realization, that allowed me to move accordingly and be able to still be like, okay, well, things happen and we got to keep it moving. We got to keep going because, you know, I still have a son to raise, and, you know, whatever Allah has for me, he will have for me, and we'll go from there. So I think with the part of me having to go through that process, it took me time. But in that process, I believe that with anyone going through any type of breakup, is that you have to really curate a habit to keeping alive first. Whatever it is that you do that will keep you focused, it's wherever you put your focus into, you know. And with that situation, or just anyone going through a breakup, of course, it's going to be hard to not focus on that because this is a situation that you were used to, you were comfortable with. So when you be okay with being uncomfortable and allowing Allah God to guide you to where He wants you to go, then you'll end up seeing and understanding why the situation had to end. So yeah.
Yes, I definitely see what you're saying. You know, one of the reasons why I've grown to love Brother Damon is because when I was going through my separation, he let me know. He was like, you know, brother, there's another brother already making a move on her. And that, as much as that pained me, that somebody close to me was already trying to make a move on her, it made me see my brother for who he is, which is a brother who is going to pull my coattail and let me know if something, I'm not walking in blind to what's going on. And so from that, I've always had an immense admiration and respect for Brother Damon, big love for my brother, because he's that type of brother. And for you, have you had somebody close who's kind of been, you know, as you've moved on from your relationship, or even before, have you had somebody that you could confide in and talk to, or somebody who would be like, hey, maybe you should try this person, or maybe you should consider this?
I would say the closest person was my mom, and still is my mom. Me and my mom have a great relationship. Usually mothers can tell beforehand and try to give you a warning sign, but sometimes like, nah, mom, it's okay. So even to this day, like I confide in my mother when it comes to certain things, because I know she knows me. And of course, Allah God. I mean, I know it sounds cliche, but I do, you know, especially now, just growing and being in a nation, learning that, make Allah a priority and go to Him first, because He will. Trust and believe me. You ask in the right manner, He will let you know.
Yeah. That's
He
right.
will. So yes, sir.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, sister, as you've looked at the type of men that you've been attracted to, have you noticed a type that you are drawn to?
Absolutely.
If you wouldn't mind, for the audience and for other sisters out there, you know, who may eventually have or maybe they have something similar in mind as yourself. What is your type?
Yeah, so I believe my type has recently changed since I've been in the nation. However, before that, I believe that I ended up attracting the same type of men as my father.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that. And the funny thing is, me and my father, well, now we do. Now we have a great relationship now. My biological father wasn't in my life. He just came back in my life over a few years ago. And we got a better relationship now, but I realized the type of things he was into, the type of things he were doing, were the same type of men that I was attracted to, and unconsciously didn't even know, like, you're like my dad, like not like my dad, but you're doing stuff that my dad's doing. So that just made me go back to really think, especially just me being a woman, and how much it's so important that we have to keep keep the family together and strong, because me as a young lady, you know, I had my stepfather and he's a great father. However, we didn't have that relationship as if, you know, we just didn't have that strong relationship. So, not having as a young girl that relationship with my father, I really believe dictated the type of men that I was attracted to.
Mhm.
And I think unconsciously it's the same way when it comes to men and also women. Sometimes we try to find unconsciously someone that's like our mother, unconsciously someone that's like our father. And we don't even notice that we're doing that, but because we long for it and we naturally didn't, well, we naturally didn't get it because of the circumstances that, you know, was ahead of us and above us, you know, it made it hard for us to really be able to get what it is that we needed at home. So we're
Mhm.
searching everywhere else for it. So I noticed that. So like I said, even with my healing journey and just me joining the nation and all that, I learned a lot about myself and learned that even in those times of the relationships that I was in, I asked myself, why did I choose these type of men? That's the reason. That what made me knew that it was that were men that had the same characteristics as my father. Because I took the time to be with myself and started asking myself questions.
Mhm.
Ask yourself questions. That's the only way you're going to get to the answers and to the bottom of it. And when I start asking myself questions, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a pattern. Something's going on. And then after I built my relationship with my father, I was able to really see like, yeah, you're like the men that I used to date.
Yeah,
No. So yeah.
man. Good. Now, for you growing up, was there good relations between your mother and father?
Well, my mother was with my stepfather.
Okay.
Um, the relationship wasn't always good, no. So I didn't see I really didn't see a proper, I want to say a proper relationship, sort of say, growing up. So even within me seeing that also contributing to the type of men that I dated. Because
Yeah.
I thought that it was normal. Certain things they were doing, I thought it was okay, you know. So yeah.
Now that's very true. Like when my children, in fact, brother Damon was probably one of the first brothers to see my oldest son. My son's name is Amir. In fact, we were at a studio appointment. We were in the studio, and he saw my son and his mother, and he was like, "What? Your son?" Like, oh shit! He was like, "I didn't know." We went outside the studio, and he was like, "What the? Whoa!"
Mm-hmm.
But brother Damon, he was not judgmental. He was like, "Man, I need to change these rhymes up because I'm talking about white people in this shit. Should I change it?" But I say that to say that when me and their mother went our separate ways, we got mediation so that our personal hurt wouldn't go into affecting the children. And man, that really did help so that I'm not saying anything negative about their mother, stopping them from calling her whenever they want to. And we have pretty good relations to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as you look forward, sister, as you consider the type, because you're the type of woman that I'm starting to see, sister, that does so a lot of self-reflection. And you carry yourself, you wear your natural beauty, you are very much authentic. Um, um, so as you look forward, what are your hopes for finding the type of husband, the type of mate that you desire, and what are some things that you would like to say to your future mate?
Oh wow.
That he
Okay.
needs to know about you.
Okay, let's see here. As I'm still doing some reflecting of myself, learning myself, I'm seeing how much I want, I really want a man of God. I crave that, because just like me listening to the minister and me not actually having that father figure in my life, and how he came in my life and became that spiritual, father figure in my life, it made me want that more, So when I think about, just the hopes of marriage, just someone that is truly striving to be one with Allah, being obedient, being able to really stand strong on his post, general orders are in effect. Come on, I mean, all that, strong, like it's a lot, because I'm still doing some self-reflection within myself. But yeah, what I'll say to my future husband is, I believe that, the journey in marriage will not be easy. And it's not, ain't meant to be easy. Nothing's meant to be easy. We're going to strive for it to happen. However, I believe that as long as we continue to keep our eye on the prize, which is Allah, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, like if we keep these three men in our forefront, I believe a marriage will be very much successful. We have everything that we need, and things happen, but we still are learning and growing. And within that, we always can go back into that Quran, go back into that study guide, go back and learn each and every time we're going through something, of hardship. So just being able to have someone that is a soldier, in a battlefield with me. As I said, I'm a soldier of Allah. I need another soldier. We soldier together. So yeah.
Well, sister, I can tell you that I wanted, before we begin to land the plane, I just want to thank Brother Damon, because Brother Damon really does. You really do a good job, brother, at making sure we have people to speak to. And Brother Damon is the one who had the idea of opening the platform up to our sisters. Brother Damon, is there anything you would like to add to the conversation? A question you would like to ask our dear sister X?
I have one question, and the question is on insecurity.
Oh yeah.
This is something I, by a special request by brothers, they said next time you get a sister on the show, ask a question about insecurities. And I usually just be quiet, and I ask Brother Fata to do everything. So he put it on me. How should sisters deal with insecurities? For example, when a brother gets remarried, or even in courtship, and he got to be around his ex, how should the brother make the sister feel secure, or how should she feel secure? Because, for example, I'm just use me as an example. I remember when I got remarried, and I used to go pick up my oldest daughter. My wife at the time wanted to go with me, and one time we had a little disagreement because I have multiple body oils, and I put a particular one on. And she thought I was putting on for my ex-wife. And I'm like, no, I just wanted to wear this, And she really felt that I was doing it for my ex-wife. And I'm like, no, it's just I want to wear it. But I had to take her with me. Every time I picked up my daughter, I had to take her with me, or I had to take another brother, because she felt my first ex-wife was still in love with me, and she felt I was still in love with her. And I said, no, it's not the case, because if I was still in love with her, I'll be with her, not with you. So how would you address insecurity on both sides?
That's a good that is absolutely amazing question because that goes on a lot. It's
Mm,
like too much a lot.
mm,
Um when it comes to I'm gonna speak on a woman. I believe that the woman has to be so sure in herself, in her role in this marriage, that should nothing jeopardize it. She has to be sure in her role. If she knows that she is your wife
mm,
and she actually accepted the fact that you had another marriage, you have children prior to the situation, then there shouldn't be any inkling that there's anything going on in that. But because obviously that may not have been something that y'all actually really got in depth about to make sure that she feels secure within this marriage, possibly made her think other than she should.
mm.
So I think with that, it also comes like a balance with that, like, and uh the honorable most honorable Elijah Muhammad had quoted this. However, I heard this in the book Real Love with Sister Ava Muhammad about how um men, I'm not saying it verbatim, but basically how men do not prioritize women's emotions.
Mm.
They naturally just don't. Men don't prioritize women emotions. And she broke it down so beautifully. Oh my gosh. Just about how just a man coming into existence alone. He was
Mm.
alone for I think 6 trillion years, I want to say, or he was alone. He created himself alone. So when we talk about the woman and when he seen that he needed, a woman for certain things and then, created the woman, you have to understand that when it comes to men, their first priority is just, you know, protecting the family and security, not
Mm.
security as far as a woman's emotions, but that's something that men just have to grow into. So that made me really think more of actually have more of an understanding of men and also understanding that, men and women, we think differently. We really do.
That's
But
right.
when it comes to the insecurity part, she's not secure in her role. And because she doesn't feel secure in her role, that's something that I believe that should have been a situation where you could have asked her, like, what is it that I can do to assist in making you feel more secure? Because obviously you knew that I had this situation going on as far as my ex-wife and other children and stuff in that matter. And I'm pretty sure, Damien, you didn't want to keep hearing that all the time. A man wants peace. So you constantly hearing, oh, you going over there, you smelling good from her. And I'm like, I wouldn't have married you if that was the case.
Right.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes us as women, we can take it overboard. But then again, I think it's just also a sense of also where you could have came in and I don't know how the situation went. If you could have came in and just been more open to hearing, like, what is it that is making you think these things? What is it that I can do to make you feel more secure? Now, if she starts opening up to you about things that you just know that you cannot help her with, that just shows that she still has some healing to do within herself. So that's why I truly love the idea of courtship. You take the time to really get to know a person. However, sometimes we don't get to really know them fully until you actually live with a person and stuff like that. But once you see these insecurities pop up, that's when you check them immediately. You have to check that.
Mm-hmm.
And that will also be, hey, do we need to go get some counseling? You know, because I'm a man. I don't want to keep hearing you saying I'm doing this and doing that. And that don't mean that she has to come with you every time when you're going picking up your daughter. Like, that's not the situation. If you thought that, then you shouldn't have married me. Like, that is, so it speaks a lot of the fact of what was your intentions, and hopefully you guys were both honest with each other with you guys' prior situation before marrying each other. So yeah, it's a lot with that. It's like, so that's why I was trying to, I'm saying this in a way so the men can understand, but also the women can understand too. Like, because sometimes men can do things that can trigger the insecurity in a woman. So and that's the thing, sometimes men do it unconsciously because they're not programmed to care about a woman's emotions. That's just what it is. It's okay though. We work on those things. That's why, you're working to become one, when you're married. So I believe that, being able to make sure that y'all are both playing each other, playing your role for the most part, and also being able to see what it is. Always have a mindset of being in service. Like, what is it that I can do as a man to assist in aiding you in feeling insecure? And that's when I said, like, if she start bringing up things that has nothing to do with you, that's how you know that she needs some healing to do. Now, if it's some things that you can change, work on it. So yeah, that's a lot.
Put on that cologne no more, brother.
Listen, go ahead, go ahead, put that cologne up. Don't even try it.
I'll be like, baby, before we get married, stand at my jam, and I'm gonna always put my cologne on. Okay. Wonderful question, Brother Damon. Wonderful
question. That was
question.
a good question. You had me really thinking.
Sister, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being a guest on our accepting the invitation to join the conversation.
Yes, our praise is due to Allah. I'm grateful that you guys, asked me to be on you guys' program and show. I think this was a great topic to discuss. I wasn't prepared for the questions, but we made it through.
Yes, well, ladies and gentlemen, our dynamic guest is Sister Angelica X. You can find her at healingwithangelica.com. Is that right, sister?
Yes, Healing with Angelica.
Sorry, I speak Spanish. I sometimes say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Okay, you putting a little spin on the name. Okay.
That's healingwithangelica.com, where you can learn about her just as much as we learned about you. Once again, sister, we thank you. We applaud you. We salute you for the work that you're doing. That's not only on behalf of yourself, but you're making the nation look good. The way that you conduct yourself, sister. So we definitely.
Yes, sir. Thank you all again. I pray Allah God continue to bless you guys on your journey. I love the program. I love the show. Keep growing, keep inspiring, and keep being authentic, because that is one thing that I believe that we have to continue to be authentic, because these real conversations are needed. So
that's right. Come on.
Praise be to Allah.
All right, Brother Damon. God willing, I'll be seeing you soon, and I'll be edited down, and we'll get it up ASAP. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.